Good morning, community. Long time no see. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes, a little bit of everything. So I didn't get to make another video up at our vacation spot because we got sick. So we had to cut our vacation short. So I'm assuming that with all the cedar up there, even though it wasn't pollinating, it really got me. And so that Tuesday of the vacation, we decided to come on home on the Wednesday, and then I spent the rest of the week in bed trying to get on top of it. I didn't know if it was a sinus infection, upper respiratory infection, but one of the things that happened on our way up there is I smacked my head on the van rental door going up there, and had some blurry vision and some headaches and nausea and stuff, so we're wondering if I didn't have a mild concussion. So we took the dogs with us, and Hank acted like he was going to jump out. We were at a service station trying to see if they would go to the potty, and I reached in to push him back, and Greg was closing the door at the same time, and it smacked me right on top of the head, and I didn't realize how bad it was until a couple of days later I found a scab on top of my head. So I know it gave me a little cut. It hit me that hard, and then I felt kind of dizzy and woozy for quite some time, and it took me probably about 4 or 5 days to get back on my feet. Went back to work on Tuesday, getting ready for back to school. So we've been trying to keep things wet here around the farm. We are not getting any rain. That cool front promised to bring us some milder temps, and they're not milder for us. We got up to 102 on Thursday yesterday. We were in the upper 90s today. It looks like we're going to be in the mid 90s, and I know that that's kind of mild for us here in Texas. But guys, it's still very, very hot. We didn't get any of the rain, and East Texas did. I'm thankful for you guys, but we are really hoping that today and tomorrow, I think, is our last chances to try to see some relief. I have the sprinkler out this morning. Got to get up early in the morning to do this, and water in the perimeter of the property, because although we still look pretty good and pretty green around here, we are starting to dry out and could go into a fiery August. We hope not, but we want to be careful just in case. So the early morning is when we have to get out here and take care of things, and one of those things that we're going to take care of is pulling up my green beans out of this bed here, and I'm going to go ahead and replant them, hoping to get a harvest around the 1st of October. The plants are loaded with green beans, and they're starting to suffer from the heat, so I was going to pick and leave them, but guys, I just don't think that the heat is doing them much good. So I want to go ahead and pull them and go ahead and harvest some of this dill seed so that I can get ready to plant these beds. And I think another thing I'm going to do today is plant some seed potatoes, and I think I'm going to put those in some of the raised beds up front. If we plant seed potatoes now, then I think that we will have some close to Christmas, and then I can turn around and take some of those seed potatoes, or some of those potatoes, and make them seed potatoes and plant them in January for my spring harvest. I would really like to keep my potatoes going throughout the year so that I always have some for backup. It's as still as it can be, my friends. Virtually no breeze, and boy, I sure would like one right now. So I got the sprinkler over here. It's watering those elderberries. Those elderberries still struggle every summer, but we got to keep everything watered. Here comes my helper to get my green beans picked. Morning, Papa. Morning. This is the harvest we got. So I planted these around June 1st, maybe the end of May, but I think it was more closer to June 1st, maybe even a little later. And we got a pretty good harvest. I'll take it. We can have us a big old pot of green beans and save some. I can go ahead and blanch and freeze some. There's not enough to can here, so I'll blanch and freeze these, what we don't make, but I'm gonna make us a big pot of green beans this weekend. So we pulled the green beans, and you can see this soil looks quite wonderful, and this is where I'm going to put my potatoes. So guys, if you're gardening with mycorrhizal fungi, you really need to keep your beds planted, or you'll start to lose all the good microbiome in here. So I see quite a few pill bugs. We have been struggling with these for a couple of years, and it's really bizarre to me So before I plant, I'm going to go ahead and put some slug away in here to make sure and get these guys diminished in here. But we've grown several green bean harvest in here, and I'll show you what we got. But you can see this soil is just very, very nice. It looks like I am going to have somewhat of an elderberry harvest this year, guys. So I got to get out here and clip these and get them separated, but I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. Here's the taters that I saved from my spring harvest. I've been keeping them in a cool, dark place. I can see some of them are starting to eye out, so we're going to dust these with mycorrhizal fungi. And if you guys are wondering what that is, you can get this off Amazon. It's called Dino Myco, and it's DYNOMCHO, I think. But if you start typing Dino Myco, then it'll start to recognize. But these are very healthy potatoes from my spring harvest. None of them are soft. They all look good. So these are just about ready to go in the ground. And I'm going to plant them where I had those green beans. Got my green beans soaking after the initial rinse. And I'll get them out and snap them, and I'll make us a big pot of green beans and probably wrap up a bag, blanch and freeze for us to have later on. So we've had quite a few harvests of green beans, and we want to keep it going. Today I'm going to plant more bush beans. I am using the Contari variety bush beans. We have not had good luck with the Blue Lake bush beans in years previous, but the Contaris seem to do good, and I get those from Baker Heirloom, which is rareseeds.com. I have not been able to find them anywhere else. So if you're looking for this variety of bean, you're going to have to find it at Baker Heirloom, and they very well may have some now because the season's winding down. And here in Texas, I have enough time to get some planted today and get them by the 1st of October. Now for my taters, I'll go ahead and plant these today in that bed, and I'll plant my bush beans in a different bed so it can strengthen the soil, because those bush beans are very good to even out your nitrogen and help your bed to flourish, especially if you use the mycorrhizal fungi. So these will be ready a little bit before Christmas, and then I will be able to take some of these seed potatoes, some of the potatoes from it, and turn right around and plant in January for my spring harvest. I want to keep potatoes going. So we've dusted our taters with mycorrhizal fungi. This is what it looks like. We want it to be sure and get on the tubers really good, because this does help keep some good living soil, and it also will strengthen your harvest and give you a good harvest. So I've dug some holes, and guys, you can cut these in two, but it'll take then a little bit more time for them to eye out, and I had really good luck with planting them whole back in the spring, so I'm going to repeat that process. So you can see my spacing is probably about 18 inches. I'm going to cover them up, and we're going to give them a good water, and then I'm going to put my slug away on top of the soil. Because I'll tell you what, those pill bugs will eat these seed potatoes. They'll eat even seeds when you put them in the ground. Now I'm going to give them a good douse, and I want it to get really saturated in there to get down to them taters. And then I'll put my spinosad, or my slug away, on top to get to work on killing and deterring those pill bugs. Now, I know a lot of people think that they're good for your soil, but guys, they're not good when you have an infestation. And we've had an infestation for years, a couple of years now. They about destroyed our garden, our tomatoes especially. They gnawed on the stalks of them, and they all tilted over like a gopher eating a tree or a beaver eating a tree. And we're starting to see this in other areas. One of our community members is up in Missouri, and they've never had a pill bug issue until this year. So we're not really sure what's causing it. We just know that they're really bad, and they're not good for your garden when you have hundreds of thousands of them. I'm going to let that water soak in, and then I'll go ahead and put my spinosad. Now we think they'll do pretty good in this bed because we have some shade cloth over it, guys. And we're still, I mean, today's just August, I think the 2nd. So we still got, my goodness, at least 6 weeks of hot weather, maybe even longer. It just depends on what's going on with our patterns. But I have seen 90-degree temperatures here in Texas in October. And so, yeah, the shade cloth is really going to come in handy, keeping these taters protected and keeping them out of the direct sun. And we should start to see them break ground 2 to 3 weeks, maybe sooner. That's the wrap for this bed. Okay, my friends. So I got the whole backyard watered. I'm really hoping we get some rain today. But again, I'm thankful for those of you that have, because we got our share at the first of the summer, but now I'm hoping that the fall's going to kick in something for us. I wanted to give you an update because I hadn't talked to you in a while, and to say that we appreciate you and we love each and every one of you, and we need to pray for this country. We need to pray for the lawlessness that's going on, and my goodness, we drove right by that Devil's Den National Park on our way to Eureka Springs, Lake Leatherwood, and right by on our way home. And guys, it took us 10.5 hours to get home, and I was not feeling well, and boy, what a chore that was. But the Lord did get us home safely. We're getting back on schedule, getting back on track. Not a lot of things going on. I'll do an update tomorrow because I think I may pull some of those elderberries and boil them and get them ready to make some elderberry syrup. So we're going to try that this year since I have some finally. Thank you all so very much. We love you. We will talk to you tomorrow. And stay cool. If you're here in our area, stay cool. In Oklahoma, I'm very jealous of you not getting above 74 or 75 yesterday. Peace, love, and joy. See you soon.